Holy Mass Readings, Monday, 31 July 2023. Memorial of Saint Ignatius of Loyola. First reading. This people has indeed committed a grave sin in making a god of gold for themselves. A reading from the book of Exodus, chapter 32, verses 15 to 24 and 30 to 34. Moses turned and came down the mountain with the 2 tablets of the commandments in his hands. Tablets that were written on both sides, front and back. Tablets that were made by God, having inscriptions on them that were engraved by God Himself. Now, when Joshua heard the noise of the people shouting, he said to Moses, "That sounds like a battle in the camp." But Moses answered, "It does not sound like cries of victory, nor does it sound like cries of defeats. The sounds that I hear are cries of revelry." As he drove near the camp, he saw the calf and the dancing. With that, Moses' wrath flared up, so that he threw the tablets down and broke them on the base of the mountain. Taking the calf they had made, he fused it in the fire, and then ground it down to powder, which he scattered on the water and made the children of Israel drink. Moses asked Aaron, "What did this people ever do to you, that you should let them into so grave a sin?" Aaron replied, "Let not my Lord be angry. You know well enough how prone the people are to evil. They said to me, 'Make us a god to be our leader.' As for the man, Moses, who brought us out of the land of Egypt, we do not know what has happened to him. So I told them, 'Let anyone who has gold jewelry take it off.' They gave it to me, and I threw it into the fire, and the scarf came out." On the next day, Moses said to the people, "You have committed a grave sin. I will go up to the Lord. Then perhaps I may be able to make atonement for your sin." So Moses went back to the Lord and said, "Ah, this people has indeed committed a grave sin in making a god of gold for themselves. If you would only forgive their sin, if you will not, then strike me out of the book that you have written." The Lord answered, "Him only who has sinned against me will I strike out of my book. Now go and lead the people to the place I have told you. My angel will go before you. When it is time for me to punish, I will punish them for their sin." The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Response. Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good.
Our fathers made a calf in Horeb and adored a molten image. They exchanged their glory for the image of a grass-eating bullock.
Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good.
They forgot the God who had saved them, who had done great deeds in Egypt, wondrous deeds in the land of Ham, terrible things at the Red Sea.
Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good.
Then he spoke of exterminating them. But Moses, his chosen one, withstood him in the breach, to turn back his destructive wrath.
Give thanks to the Lord, for He is good. Gospel reading. Mustard seed becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 13, verses 31 to 35. Jesus proposed a parable to the crowds. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a person took and sowed in a field. It is the smallest of all the seeds. Yes, when full grown, it is the largest of plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches. He spoke to them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took a mixed with 3 measures of wheat flour until the whole batch was leavened. All these things Jesus spoke to the crowds in parables. He spoke to them only in parables to fulfill what had been said through the prophets. I will open my mouth in parables. I will announce what has lain hidden from the foundation of the world. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.